Hello everyone, welcome back to Bandits Tarot by Seraphic Pathways. This is going to be another true crime tarot session that we'll be doing. And today we're going to be discussing a very old case that I came across that's from 1982, because I'm always looking up new cases to share with my audience here on YouTube. And this one in particular struck my interest because it shares so many similarities to the Summer Wells case. We're going to be discussing the cold case of Kelly Hollan Jr. of Hazard, Kentucky. Now, before I go any further, I would like to throw out a quick disclaimer for the ones of you that do not know what we do over here on my channel. Hi, my name is Isaac. We discuss true crime. We also incorporate tarot, but anything that I say in regards to reading tarot cards on true crime cases should not be taken as facts. It's all alleged and speculated. I encourage anybody that watches this video to form their own opinions and conclusions on anything that is discussed, anything that I discuss, the people I discuss. Just do your own research, okay, before coming to a conclusion. Just don't go by what I'm saying or the other YouTubers saying. You have your own mind, you have your own thoughts. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is also not meant to be disrespectful, throw shade, have any type of malice intent towards any person, family, or case mentioned in this video, or for any of my videos here on YouTube. Alright guys, so with that being said, with that long disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into this true crime tarot session surrounding the disappearance of Kelly Hollan Jr. So 6-year-old Kelly Hollan Jr. went missing February 12th, 1982 from his house in Knox County, Kentucky. Hazard, Kentucky. This particular day it was snowing a lot. They got a lot of snow in the area, so school was canceled and Kelly got to stay home. So in the morning around 11 a.m., his mother, Judy Moore, decided to let Kelly go outside and play in the snow. Around 4 p.m. that afternoon, she came out and checked on Kelly, and nothing was out of the ordinary. Up until she went to her friend's house, because they didn't have a landline phone at the time in their residence, so they had to walk over to their neighbor's house to use the phone. So Judy Moore walked over to her neighbor's house, used the phone, came back, she called for Kelly, and Kelly didn't answer, he didn't show up, he was gone. So, and keep in mind guys, she was over at this neighbor's house for a very brief period of time, maybe at most 10 minutes. She came back. Kelly was gone. Now, at first when Judy noticed this, she didn't take any suspicion. She didn't think that anything was out of the ordinary. She didn't give much thought to it. She just assumed that Kelly went over to a neighbor's house down the road to play in the holler, or he went over to watch TV or something, like he was somewhere at somebody else's house. That's basically what she was thinking. So 6 a.m. rolled around. She called for Kelly again to come in for dinner, and Kelly still did not come. So Judy then decided to eat dinner alone. After dinner, she went over to the friend's house that she thought Kelly would be at, and it turns out that Kelly had not been there all day. This is when Judy decided to contact police and report Kelly as missing. But here's the thing though, whenever she decided to contact police to finally report Kelly as missing, she went over to her boyfriend's grandmother's house to use the phone and to tell them what was going on. And Judy's, mother-in-law and her boyfriend told her not to report Kelly missing until 12 a.m. Okay. Red flag number one. Why? Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack. The last time that you've seen from him was 4 p.m. That's a 2-hour time period from the time that she was at home. Well, she left home to go use the neighbor's phone. She came back, she ate dinner. Kelly was still missing, so she went over to the neighbor's house and he was still missing. That's a good 2-hour time period already. So, I don't understand why Judy's mother-in-law was wanting her to report Kelly missing at 12 at midnight. When the last time that he was saw was 4 p.m. that day. That's an 8-hour time period. A lot can happen within 8 hours. A lot can happen within 20 minutes. You have to keep in mind. And, let's see. Let's give a little bit of background on Kelly's parents. The background of Kelly's parents. So, Kelly's parents were previously divorced years prior to his disappearance. His siblings lived with another family member, another grandmother in their family in Jackson, Kentucky, because Judy had a hard time caring for these two other children, Kelly's siblings. She had a hard time caring for them, so she surrendered them over to another family member. It was also rumored that Judy and her boyfriend was abusing him before Kelly disappeared as well. It was also speculated that they were into drugs and, they were just basically the same thing that we see with Dawn and Candace Wells. I don't need to say anything else. And then Judy's sister, this is a kicker, guys. This is so strange. So Judy's sister confided to police that she helped Judy bury Kelly, bury the body. Judy denies this claim. She said that she would never do anything to hurt her son, and she doesn't know why her sister said that to police because it's not true, according to what she is saying. Soon after, Judy's sister and her fell out. They're no longer on speaking terms at the time of this happening, and they just quit eventually talking. It is also speculated that he had been taken to Tampa, Florida. Everyone was wondering where Kelly was, and it was speculated that he was taken to Tampa, Florida, because after his disappearance, Judy received a phone call from this school in Florida requesting medical records for Kelly. Okay. That's another red flag here, because whenever this happened, Judy did not report this to police. So you have a missing child. It's speculated that they were taken out of state. You got a phone call from a school that they were now registered at. Mind you, this is years. I want to say like 2 years after Kelly went missing. And you received a phone call from the school, but Judy didn't report it to the police. She never reported that to the police. It later turned out that school in Tampa, Florida burned down, and it destroyed any and all medical records that Kelly had at that school. So that was out the window. So at this point, Kentucky State Police doesn't know what happened to Kelly Hollan Jr., whether he was killed, whether he was kidnapped, or whether he ran away. And it's hard to say if anything will be solved from this case because, well, for one, it's so old, but for two, assuming that he ran off into the wilderness. The hills of eastern Kentucky is not an easy terrain to navigate, let alone for a 6-year-old child. And there's so many places that he could have just crawled under, or just, I don't know what happened, guys. There's just so many possibilities that could happen. Like I mentioned before, I used to live in that part of Kentucky, so, or close to it, so I know how the terrain is up there. And even if they did, you know, even if Kelly was killed and he was murdered and his body was buried somewhere, then it's hard to say that it will ever be found. There is a good possibility that it will never be found because of all the vegetation in the area and how thick the woods are. And it's been 1982 since he's been seen. The only other alternative is he got kidnapped or got placed with another family and changed his name. Who knows what happened? The reason why I'm sharing this case, guys, is because we don't want Summer Wells' case to end up like Kelly Hollan Jr., which is very unfortunate that this young child went missing and no one knows what happened to him. Just out of the blue, all of a sudden, just like with Summer Wells. Another similarity that I would like to point out here is the scrutiny that both parents are receiving in both cases, from the Summer Wells case and from the Kelly Hollan Jr. case. At the time of it happening, people were pointing the fingers at the mother. I mean, keep in mind, her own sister even came out and said that she helped her bury the body and get rid of it. Now, Judy later denies this happening. But we don't want this. It's so easy for cases to turn into like cases such as this one that we are talking about. I said in that post that I posted on the community tab on YouTube that this case was more than likely to go cold because we don't have social media. They didn't have social media back then. They didn't have a lot of news coverage. All they had was Amber Alerts and word of mouth. So, I mean, I doubt Summer Wells' case is going to end up like this, but I highly doubt that because of the new age that we live in with social media, and so many people are talking about Summer, and her name is out there in the news and, you know, on media. It's hard to forget that face. But yeah, it's strange. Like, it's so strange. Children just don't go missing. Guys, children just don't go missing out of the blue. Like, evaporate from thin air. If that happens, it's one or two things. Either one, they ran off by themselves, or two, someone took them. I'm going to turn on the ghost box. Let's see. I'm going to turn on the ghost box in this video. So we're going to hop into the tarot portion right here. Give me 1 second. Okay. I think it's turned up. Okay, so let's ask some questions in regards to Kelly Hollan Jr. Let's ask some questions. Let's see if we can get something answered here. Keep in mind, guys, again, this is speculated. No facts surrounding it whatsoever. It is all alleged. Kelly Hollan Jr., I come in peace. Would you be willing to speak? Kelly Hollan Jr., what would you like people to know about your disappearance? Did someone take you?
Right here.
here.
Sadly terrible.
Sadly terrible. Kelly Hollan Jr., did someone take you the day that you went missing? Were you taken from your home by somebody, Kelly?
John?
Pretty sure it said something regarding John. I don't know what that means. It kind of sounded like Hollan as well. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Did Kelly Hollan Jr. go missing from his home by someone else? Did someone take Kelly Hollan Jr. from his home, Spirit? Trying to avoid that annoying glare that light is on the camera. It helps you guys see better though, so that's a good thing. We have the Nine of Swords, fingers covering the 9. The tarot is saying yes, someone took him from the home. I think that someone took him from the home. Possibly while he was off guard, or he was resting. We have this Page of Swords. The Four of Swords. Spirit, can you clarify what this Nine of Swords means for Kelly Hollan Jr.? What does this mean for Kelly Hollan Jr.? His mother's popping up here. I'm seeing a female. I'm seeing a female offered him. Could have offered him something. Kelly, who took you from your home? Woman. Kelly, was it a woman that took you from your home?
Be guilty.
What was the woman's name? Can you tell me the woman's name, Kelly?
You're right there.
Kelly Hollan Jr., did they take you while you were resting or sleeping? I come in peace. Kelly Hollan Jr., did the person that take you from your home, did they do it while you were asleep or off guard? I don't know, guys. What does that sound like to you? I think I heard Susan, but I'm not sure. Sound off in the comments below. Tell me what you heard. I want to see what this Nine of Swords is talking about. What is this Nine of Swords talking about when it relates to Kelly Hollan Jr.'s disappearance spirit? I'm getting that it was someone that he trusted or knew personally. Now, the majority of these missing persons cases, guys, especially when it pertains to missing children, like, I want to say 90% of them is by someone that they knew. Someone that knows them. Most of the time it's by someone that knows them personally. I don't want to say 90%. I'm not sure of the exact percentile, but most of the times it's someone that knew them. And I'm reading that someone did know Kelly, and this was a person that could have been responsible for taking him. Also, something about a field. A field with flowers. I'm seeing a field with flowers, and it's a sunny day, and it's in the springtime. I want to see now, what is this Four of Swords talking about for the disappearance of Kelly Hollan Jr.? I'm sorry about the traffic in the background, guys. You already know there's nothing much I can do about it. Trust me, I hate it. I have to live next to it. What is this Four of Swords talking about when it pertains to the disappearance of Kelly Hollan Jr.? Spirit, what is this Four of Swords talking about when it relates to the disappearance of Kelly Hollan Jr.? Thank you so much. I'm seeing water. I'm seeing like water with land on two sides, like a big river, perhaps. This is clarifying this Four of Swords. We have the Seven of Pentacles. It was definitely calculated. Three people could have been involved in as well. I'm also seeing a man with a hood. And the Four of Cups. Kelly Hollan Jr., was your mother involved within your death? Allegedly. Ooh, guys. Ooh. Kelly, was your mother involved within your death? Is it a hard thing for you? Is it a hard thing for you to talk about? Do you not wish to speak on it anymore? Kelly Hollan Jr., I leave in peace. Thank you for talking with us. I don't know, guys. This case is weird. That makes you question, though. Why would her sister blatantly lie about something like that, though? Why would Judy's sister lie about such a bold claim, though. But then again, we can relate it to what Allison is saying. According to what Allison, on the Chris McDonough interview, she claims that Candace, and I'm just paraphrasing what she said, Candace was responsible for the disappearance of Rose. She went as far as even saying that Candace admitted to killing her. And then Candace denies it. I don't know if she's ever denied it or not, now that I'm thinking about it. Has she ever denied it? Has she ever denied anything with her sister's disappearance, not being involved in it? You don't see Candace talk about it much. No, she's never... So yeah, guys, I thought that I would share this case with you. Sound off in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Do you think the two are similar? I don't think they're clearly not connected, but what similarities do you see in between these two cases? I'm curious to hear your thoughts below. If you've tuned in this far, give the video a thumbs up. It helps out my channel tremendously. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the continued support. And I'll catch you on the next round.